Okay, so to start my journey, I have to go a little bit way back. Have to go back a little bit more. It starts from, well, here in Barbados, our education system is kind of a mandatory education system up to a certain level. But I would say we don't necessarily focus on investing. We focus more like core subjects like mathematics, English, a language. And so growing up, I never really understood or knew about investing and taking my money and trying to make more of it. I knew about getting a nice job, working in an everyday job and paying the bills and, just trying to make it basically. But then I did economics and that kind of opened up my eyes to some new things. And I always found stocks and derivatives very, very interesting while I was studying and how they work, how you can buy and sell. It's the same idea of profit and loss, but not with clothing, more with part of a business. So that opened up my eyes and I've always found that interesting. So I started with stocks and looking into stocks.
How long ago? How long ago was you studying, or how long ago did you go into stocks? You mean stock trading or stocks as in stock in clothes?
Stock trading. Stock trading.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I would say from about 2015, really.
15 years old? Oh, no, 2015.
2015, yeah.
5 years ago.
But in Barbados, the stock market is not really active. So I had to like probably try to source or go outside using the US stock market. And I had to get an account because I'm not a US citizen, but I went through some steps to get that account. So I would say actually starting in about 2017.
2017, okay. So from 2015 to 2017, you was trading local stocks in Barbados.
But it doesn't move. So it was just like I had a stock and it's not moving.
Yeah.
I got some insurance and how the insurance company worked is that you could use the dividends with the insurance you buy dividends in the company. So you buy stock in the company, so you get dividends. So I was only generating dividends from stocks through my insurance. But based on the stocks I bought from the actual stock market, nothing was happening. So I went to the US and I looked at the US stock market.
Yeah.
And that's where I really started around 2017.
Yeah, but you stuck to it for 2 years though. What made you stick to it for so long and not move on to something else sooner?
Lack of knowledge.
Okay, yeah, good answer.
Yeah, basically just not knowing.
So is people in Barbados, I mean, you just said it, not many people focus on education over there as opposed to like investing, etc., etc. So
education, but not investing education.
Invest in education. So there's not a lot of people over in Barbados that are into like stocks, Forex, trading, etc., etc.
Well, recently, I would say within the last probably 3-4 years, Forex has become a really big thing in Barbados with a lot of people trying to push it. But that's recently. That was not in my childhood growing up. Most people would do is partake in bonds, government bonds. But other than that, there's no real big chatter on derivative trading, stocks, futures, nothing.
So then you move from the local stocks in Barbados to, when I say that word, it just makes me smile, man. Barbados, just the nice sun and the food and the sea and everything. And then 2 years later, you went over into the US market. You had to do a few things, etc., etc. And then what happened from there?
Well, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos on the technical analysis part of it. And I started to dabble with buying some, selling some. It was a bit up and down. I lost some. I realized that as soon as I sold back, it went into profit. And I was like, should I hold it a little longer? And it was just a little bit up and down. There was no major loss though, but it was somewhat of a loss though. But I stuck with it. And really, actually, during the Corona pandemic is when some stocks got really low, and I was like, I'm going for it. And I just bought, with the money I had in the account, I just bought some stocks that I felt would have to sustain the pandemic.
Yeah.
As they should.
No, but hold on. So let's just understand this. So 2 years doing that, and then how long was you doing the US market up until the pandemic? How many years?
I was doing the US market from like 2017, but not really active. More like just occasionally would look at something, say, okay, let me go in for that. Or it wasn't really like serious, but it was there.
So then would you say for like 3 years, you took trading stock seriously, or what was happening in those 3 years? Give us a picture of what you was doing those 3 years.
From I was off and on. They had periods, they had months within there that I was real serious about it. And then they had months I was like, okay, I just need to lay off a little bit, focus on some other things, and then probably get back to that.
Yeah. When did you start to think that you was going to take it more seriously then over those like 3 years?
I would say just before the pandemic.
Yeah. Why? What changed?
Well, people were, as I said, Forex became really big in Barbados. And people would ask me what I think about Forex. And I was like, I don't see how it is. I don't see how you're going to make money from it, because my understanding is it works based on the change in currency prices. And currency prices don't change by that much. It changes by 3 or 4 decimal places. So unless you have a great amount of capital, I don't see how you're making money from Forex. So that's what I would usually tell people who ask me. That's my honest opinion. But at that time, I didn't understand leveraging.
Yes.
So that was why my basis was that.
Yeah.
When I grew to understand leveraging, obviously my idea would have changed. But based on that idea, I was more comfortable with stocks. So then I more focused my energy in stocks instead of Forex.
Yeah. So did you have any moments where you ever thought that you'll become a full-time stock trader and, it'll be able to be your sole income and you can live the yacht lifestyle and whatever else?
No, I use for to me stocks was to supplement my income, to give me extra. I teach, and I wouldn't say I always wanted to be a teacher, but I've grown to the point that I'm liking it. So I don't think I'm going to stop doing that, but I still think that I need more. Like I need some extra.
There's no better reward than being able to help someone, man. Like I've said this many times before, money can't buy the satisfaction you can get from seeing somebody or someone coming to you and saying, look, Charlie, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for telling me what you told me or helping me to do this. Like money can't buy that. So it's crazy that you say that, because there's a lot of traders out there nowadays that are tired of working. They've seen this lifestyle of trading, not even Forex right now. We're just talking period trading. And they just want to get on the bandwagon because they think they're going to be able to quit their 9 to 5, make all this money, live this lifestyle, and everything's going to be roses in life. But you clearly obviously have a different, not perspective, but you want to do things differently. You still want to keep teaching, but you also want to trade on the side. So I guess, but now that I said that, thinking about it, do you actually take it as serious as somebody who really wants to do it full time when you're still happy to have a full-time job and just use trading as a supplement to your income?
I didn't, but I do know.
You what?
I didn't always used to, but I do know.
Why? What's changed?
Since the pandemic, I realized really and truly nothing is ever for sure. And if I'm going to do something, like I need to do it. I can't halfway. If I'm going to do it, I just need to do it. So I put a lot of my effort into really learning and understanding. As I said, I like teaching. The reason I like teaching is because I like learning. And I believe if you're going to try to learn something, you can't do it halfway. So all my effort right now is into learning that. Yeah,
that's good. Charlie, so now the pandemic's coming, you've seen that nothing's guaranteed in life. 1 minute people have jobs, a minute they don't. 1 minute somebody has a home, they don't. Some people have family members that are here and the minute they're not. My heart goes out to them. Things change very quickly, right? and nobody ever knows what's going to happen tomorrow. Do you feel like you're trading because you thoroughly enjoy trading and it's something that you can see yourself doing in the long run, or do you think you're just doing it as a security just in case something else fails?
No, I enjoy it.
Yeah, you enjoy it. So the 2 years that you was doing the local stocks, nothing really come of it, taking some dividends out here and there. Then you went into US markets, and obviously that is what it is. And then so annoying when that happens. Then you went into US markets, and then obviously that was what it was. And then in that time, so we're talking what, about 5 years in total, right?
Yeah.
All right. So in that 5 years, was it only trading and work that you focused on, or did you try anything else like network marketing, drop shipping, anything like that?
No, only work, trading, and I did like I would say on the side in terms of trying to hold events,
Okay.
extra income, but
So everything else has just been for extra income, basically.
Yeah.
All right. So during this journey, what have you struggled with the most then, would you say?
Psychologically, and just mainly psychologically, and my confidence. Sometimes it's shook, and I need to just reassure myself that everything takes time and it's not going to happen overnight. But I need to be consistent with it. I would say, because I catch on to things pretty quick. So my focus, my main problem is not understanding the technical side of things, because I do get that. My main thing is all psychological, to be honest.
Psychological, okay. And before we move into that kind of area, you, after trading the US stocks and that, you then moved into Forex.
Yes, my idea on Forex and stocks is a little bit different. I think stocks, I'm looking more in terms of long term.
Okay.
Buying and holding for the long run. That's why I saw the pandemic to be very favorable, because I could buy it and just hold and write it out until the pandemic is over.
Yeah.
But Forex, I have a more, I would say, short-term goal in terms of returns.
Yeah. So like you're talking like weekly and monthly gains.
Yeah.
Weekly, monthly gains. So when did you start dabbling in Forex, and how was you introduced to it?
I would say around the same timeline as stocks, but I wasn't serious with Forex. I was more like, I would watch a video here and there on YouTube. I would hear somebody talk about it. I would get the idea of what's going on, but nothing serious until about 2019. Yeah, 2019, because I had some friends who were into it and they were saying, like, I made this much. It'd be like, but they said like they don't really do it anymore because they made this much, but then they can also lose that much. And I was like, okay, well, I need to know what's going on here, and I need to really learn and understand this before I go into it. And yeah, so around 2018, 2019, I took it a little bit more serious, but still off and on. I've really been on since around February, March of 2020.
Was that because of the pandemic?
Yes and no. I wanted to be more serious about it, but time in terms of getting to learning material was a bit hard because, as I said, I also teach, I also work. But during the pandemic, I got some time home, so I tried to use it to my advantage.
Yeah.
And I really spent a lot of time during that trying to learn the ins and outs of trading.
How did you find the transition?
In terms of being home and
in terms of going from stocks to Forex.
A lot of the technical analysis was basically the same, but what I found with Forex that it was more on the technical side and the fundamental side, and I think stocks is more on the fundamental side when you look at it.
Yeah.
But you still can use technical analysis in stocks. I think it's like a flip. So like stocks is heavy fundamentals with technicals, and Forex is like heavy technicals with some fundamentals.
Yeah. In terms of trading stocks, if there was a key level in the market where price was struggling to break below, and then, you know, price finally broke below it, would you be looking for a retest on stocks like you would be on Forex from a technical?
No, I think I'll be looking for a straight buy.
A buy after a break below?
Sorry, a break below, straight sell.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a lot of stock traders trade breakouts.
Yeah.
And when I watch stock trade, it's so funny you say that, because I've been interested in stocks, but I mean, I've been trading Forex for so long now, and that's my, like, I would say, area of expertise. That's where I'm comfortable. But I've seen stock traders trading live, and I have 2 friends who are stock traders, very successful stock traders as well. And just trading stocks just seems so simple. Like, excuse my like naivety here, I know it's not, but when you see them taking trades and their breakout trades from key levels, and it goes from like this point to this point, I'm just like, hold on a minute. It's almost like they know it's going to continue to go up because there was a buyer at this level. The seller was only at this level here. I may sound stupid now. People on YouTube might destroy me, but you get the point. Like, I just see people taking loads of breakout trades. I'm like, I wonder if it's easy as it looks.
I don't necessarily say easier, but it's a different way of understanding the market to some extent. Obviously, both stock traders and Forex traders have to look for their tells, but the tells for a stock trader would be along the same line, but somewhat different, modified a little bit or tweaked a little bit, as opposed to the ones for a Forex trader.
Okay. See, for me, when it comes to stocks and me wanting to go into stocks, I'm just like, how am I going to learn all of those names, figure out how to scan the markets for potential stocks to trade, then figure out my share sizes, then close positions, then have the markets close out on me because of, can't remember what the word it is. And I'm just like, nah, look, man, let me just wait for my break and retest and my pin bar and take the trade. So, boy, that's where I'm at now anyway. So up until now, stocks, you got into Forex, and you're learning, where you learn your Forex from? YouTube again?
YouTube, and I've been in like 2 or 3 different communities.
Okay. So, you know, obviously, you know, as a teacher, when you teach somebody something, a student, sometimes they can resonate with the teacher and sometimes they just don't. It doesn't matter what you teach them or how simple you keep it. Some people just cannot resonate because they don't feel the teacher, they don't like the way it's being taught. In terms of the couple of communities that you've been part of, now that you're at where you're at in terms of your understanding, looking back, because this is an interesting question, would you say that it was the strategy, the teacher, or was it you that didn't really get on with those kind of communities that you decided to move?
I'll answer this from 2 sides, from a teacher perspective and a student perspective. And I've realized in teaching, the students who gain the most success are the students who believe in their teachers, who believe that their teacher could get them through it. And they're like, okay, if he say that's what's happening, then that's what's happening, and I'm going to do that. And I find that those students excel more than the others who I ain't too sure, but he just don't always say the right thing. I always second guessing what the teacher is saying. In terms of a student of Forex, now looking back, as you said, I think all the strategies that I've heard or saw have their merit and can work, but I think I needed to find the one that sits with me. Good.
I like that, man. I like that you said that, because a lot of people, and I say people, I'm talking about traders now, they like to knock their mentor, they like to knock the teacher, or they like to knock the material. But the truth of the matter is, when you really check it, once you've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different communities, you got to get to a point where you ask yourself, hold on a minute, is it them or is it me? But you clearly obviously recognize that really early on. So, you know, you were able to make quite good informed decisions, I guess. And then it's obviously led to where you are now. In terms of your struggles, you know, did you lose a lot of money as you were, you know, up until this stage? Did you lose a lot of money? Are you that type of person that blew accounts?
Well, a lot is relative, right?
No. Sorry. Yeah, probably asked that question wrong, but did you blow accounts on the way up, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah. Yes, I blew like probably three accounts.
Mm,
And I said, and again, that's the part where my confidence was like,
mm.
is this necessary? But as I said, like I believe in myself and what I'm capable of doing. So therefore, that's why I'm still sticking with it. And a blown account for me is just means a lesson to learn. I'm not doing something right that's causing this to blow. So I need to look back at it and see why would I have blown all these accounts. Actually, the first community I was really a part of, and this is aside from just YouTube videos, the actual community. Um, this is where I really got introduced to, documenting your trades and
Yeah.
writing your thought process on all your trades and saving them. And I was never really a person for documenting, really and truly. Like it just seems, I don't know, I just couldn't do it that
Foreign.
much. But I decided if I have to do this, then this is a hurdle I have to get over, and I have to document these trades so that when I look back, I can know what I'm thinking. And even now, sometimes I look back at trades I would have probably made a year ago, and it's like, wait, am I saying this market completely wrong? Why am I taking a buy here?
Mhm.
In terms of what I learned so far, this should be a sell, right? I've also learned too that I shouldn't try to mix strategies because, as I said, I've been through so many different people and hearing so much different ideas. Is that if I try to use all of those ideas, it's not going to work
Mm.
because it's not going to be consistent. And where I'm winning using one strategy might be a loss when I implement the other strategies. So my losses and wins will never balance out. So it's just a matter of finding one that you're completely comfortable, as I said, that sticks with you, and just trusting that one and only going with that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unbelievable point that you just made there. And I think for the listeners, they need to really take that on board. And I say it all the time, knowledge is power, but in Forex, too much knowledge becomes poison. And it's so true. One strategy will tell you that selling at this resistance level is correct because it's a key level in the market. And then another strategy will tell you, no, don't take that trade. Wait for a momentum shift or a breakout. It's like, how do you win? You know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to listen to? But I think this is a very important point that all traders need to really take on board here, what you've just mentioned. If you have a strategy, like you said, right at the beginning, all strategies are really good and they do work for the majority of them. They were created for a reason, and clearly they must have their pros and cons like all the others. But if you're using a strategy, the reason why you stick to one strategy and have one plan to trade that strategy is because that strategy works for that strategy. That approach works for that strategy. And the results that you are going to get from that strategy will ultimately determine your ultimate results after a period of 3 months, 6 months, a year, or 100 trades. It's when you start to deviate and do things outside of your trading plan, that's when things start to become a problem. Traders never get from A to C or A to Z. They end up getting A, B, C and starting way back at the beginning again. And then when I say trust the process, nobody understands what I mean because they've never got past the first stage of being consistent and doing things how they should be doing according to their plan. And that is one of the biggest things I have to tell every single one of these listeners out there right now. If you have a strategy, you must stick to it. Don't deviate and start going on social media and looking at what Joe Blogs is doing and George is doing and Bob is doing. Because yes, it may be working for them and they may be able to buy a Lamborghini and make all this money and whatever else. But trust me, it's not going to work for you if you're trying to implement another strategy. If you want to do what they're doing because you're attracted to that or whatever it is you're attracted to, go and focus on that. But in order to get the best out of your trading, you need to stick to one strategy, one plan, and execute. I cannot stress this enough. And obviously you recognize that. And since recognizing that, obviously going through, different communities, what has that done to your trading? I'm not saying like you've got to where you want to get to, obviously, because that's not what these podcasts are about. But what has it done to actually not your trading? Let's say your mindset and your vision for your future as a trader.
Um, it's settled me.
Yes.
It's given me a clear direction of what I want, and it's also given me confidence in the trades that I want to take.
Amazing, man. Love it. Make you feel at ease and give you the confidence. And I mean, I'm talking more than you. I shouldn't be here, but I'm just excited. I'm excited by what you said. Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
these things you can't learn these things by taking a course, and you can't learn these things by reading a book. It doesn't matter how much somebody tells you, unless you're willing to go through the process, accept that belief, and really believe in that belief, you're never gonna know. You understand? And that's the
Yeah.
hardest part of trading, not the technical side, not the fact that you don't believe somebody else telling you that you should trust the process. It's actually going through the process and learning to believe in it yourself. And man, that's beautiful. Those two words alone is enough. Gems. I'm excited, man. So what's next? What's happening like now?
For 2021, my goal is to secure and maintain FTMO accounts.
Everyone's telling me FTMO.
Yeah, because and it goes back to what I mentioned before with the starting capital, right? The more capital you have, your same trading system generates more profits. You're not doing anything different. You're just going in with investing more. So once you believe in what you're doing, if you have more to invest, it will be more beneficial to you. I don't want to always have an FTMO account. I want to use it to build my
Leverage
own.
yourself. Yep.
Yeah, and then from there I could be independent, like not depending on an FTMO account. But my goal right now is to get that FTMO account secured and maintained.
Okay, so how do you plan to do it? And time
Well,
scale.
I have been back testing, forward testing, practicing, communicating with other traders who are, and I don't just want to say any trader, I've been communicating more with traders who are seeing the market similar to how I'm seeing it. Because I don't think that talking to another trader with a different view of the market could help with my strategy and tell me, okay, well, your buy there is okay, it's not good. Did you take this into consideration? But when I'm talking to a trader who has been through the same process as me, it's like, you know where I'm coming from, you know what I'm looking for. Not to say that I don't talk to other traders, but for other reasons. I talk to them just to get a sense of their mindset, where they're at, like, yo, this is hard, like, and I'd be like, yeah, but you gotta push through it. And then when I have that time where it's like, I don't know, they could be like, yeah, remember when I was at that stage, like, you gotta, if you believe in it, you gotta keep going with it. So just consistency and a plan of action to follow. I realized in the past that I do have a plan. I know, okay, I'm only buying if I see this, and then I see something else, I'm like, this look tempting, and I go in and it loses, and then like a couple minutes later, exactly what I wanted came, and it's like that loss was unnecessary. Or when I look back at the market, it's like that loss was unnecessary. But there are some losses that I do see happen that I'm okay with. That when it loses, it's like, okay, it's according to my plan, it's consistent, that's exactly what I wanted to see. It just didn't play out. So for me to secure and maintain it is consistency and sticking with my plan.
All right. So now everyone talks about a plan. Everybody knows what a plan is. Not everybody has one. But now my big question to you is, what is your plan in 2021 in order to get that funded account that you're looking for? Give me timescales. Give me how you're going to get there. Tell me. Break down your plan of action for getting that funded account.
Okay, so I plan to go through the challenge. Actually, I plan to start it this month.
What the real challenge?
Yeah, I've been forward testing for a while and documenting the trades. So I plan to go over those and see where I can improve on what I'm doing, and then go ahead with the actual challenge. And depending on those results, I would look back and see where I need to tweak, where I need to improve, what I've been doing good, and basically go from there. But I plan to take the challenge from this month.
Are you feeling confident?
Yes, I've taken the challenge before in the past. I've made a few mistakes with it. I've learned from each of those mistakes, and I think I had to. I think I had to lose it. I think I had to lose the challenge
1,000%.
those times.
What words from a wise
Taught me
man?
a lot.
Words from a wise man. You know, some people think that failing is a bad thing, but there's so much to learn from it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And when you make those mistakes, as long as you can learn from it, yeah, in the initial moment, you're gonna feel upset and sad, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna beat yourself up and have regrets. But when you really check it, like the next day or a couple of days later, once you know the moment's passed, you can really say, well, hold on a minute. How was I ever to know that the spreads were as large as they are? Or how was I supposed to ever know what drawdown looks like using 10, 15, 20 locks? You know, how was I ever to know what it felt like being 2 or 3 grand in profit and then seeing price turn back against me? Like, again, you can read it and be like, oh yeah, guess what? I can deal with that. But to actually deal with that in the live market's a different kettle of fish. Do you understand?
The emotional attachment is a lot different. Even in opposed to doing a trial than a challenge. In a trial, your money's not really there. There's nothing invested. You might feel it, but it's so much different. I did the trial. I passed the trial. So I was like, yeah, I'm ready to do the challenge. But when I did the challenge, it was different. Psychologically, it was just different.
That first trade, win, lose, whatever, is just like a next level experience that you'll never experience again. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Especially when you invest, a fraction of what you're going to get back if you do well and pass the challenge. You understand? There's so much riding on it. It's not just about, let's take my trade, let's follow my plan, let's wait for my patterns, let's be patient, let's use risk management. It's almost like everything's weighing on your shoulders. Wow, if I pass this, things could change. Money's going to be different. Then in 3 months, I could probably help my family. Then in 6 months, might be able to buy a car. And then in 12 months, might be able to buy a house. And then get 3 accounts. And then I'd be making 10% a month and 30 grand. And then compare that to my currency, man's going to be balling. You understand? Like things just like that's everything that weighs on your shoulders when you do that challenge. You understand? Or when you go from a small account to a big account or whatever else. But you said that you've done the trial and you're absolutely right. There's no emotional attachment to it. And what's so crazy now is if I told you to do a trial of something that was similar to the funded account trial challenge and said, just try it out. If you do well, you can do the real thing, and didn't tell you that it was a real thing that I told you to do, guess what? You're probably past it. Yeah. It's crazy, huh? So do you feel like you've done enough up until now to get yourself mentally and emotionally prepared to take this next journey? Because it really is a next journey.
Yes. Yes. I in the past, I would say I just wanna pass this challenge and as fast as possible. Like, and when I'm back testing it, make trades and win, and I think to myself, if I risking 1%, like I've done this challenge in 2-3 days, like that's the challenge. It's done. And then like when I go into the live market and I doing 1%, because one of the times I failed the challenge, I actually was going with 1. And it was like it didn't work. Like you could win it very easy, but you also gotta think you could lose it very easy too. So then it makes me sometimes second guess a trade, and when you have to second guess it, it's a wrap. If you second guess it, don't go into it, because by the time you second guess it and then enter, it's probably too late, or it's not what you wanted anymore.
Yeah.
So then that kind of changed me a little bit, and I started to think, okay, don't doubt yourself, but don't be too far ahead of yourself.
Yes.
1% is a bit too much for you to handle. Scale this down. And if it takes you a whole month instead of a week to win this challenge, you win it.
That's the point I just wanted to make to you, man. Traders, for some reason, when it comes to FTMO, and trust me, I've seen a lot of them, they want to pass the challenge in a week, a few days, because this is how they go into it. And it's so crazy. I'll talk about this in a sec as well. If I risk 1%, it's only going to take 2 or 3 trades, especially if I get into a 1 to 5, or even get into a big home run, or even if I get a couple 1 to 3s, I'll be over in a few days, like you said. How are you going into a challenge thinking like that? It's natural because the maths add up, right? It's true. The maths add up, but then they forget what happens if you have a bad run and you lose 2 or 3 trades in a row. Have you prepared yourself for how you're going to deal with the drawdown, as opposed to dealing with what you suspect to be 1 or 2 or 3 trades and pass the challenge? Understand? And that is why so many traders get the FTMO accounts and pass the verifications, but lose it within a month. And you probably know as well as I know, there are a lot of traders out there that do it. And it's so funny, you know, it happened today. I don't know if you see my Instagram, but I just posted a video of my trade that I took on pound USD on the 5-minute time frame. Yeah. 3 or 4 pips from take profit, price turns around, takes me out break even. Now, when I post this trade on social media, everybody turns into the trader expert. Oh, hold on a minute. Why didn't you take profits? Why didn't you set it to 1-to-1 risk reward ratio? Oh, why didn't you see it trading breaking the trend line? On the video, this is what I said. I said, and for those traders out there who find themselves in these situations, don't be quick to chase the markets. Don't be quick to revenge trade. Don't be quick to take another trade while you're emotional. That was the lesson. But everybody becomes an expert and want to tell me when I should have taken profit, etc., etc. And I sat and I come away from it and I'm like, hold on a minute, let me think about this. Why are people saying this to me? Not that I'm open to advice. It's how I've learned and how I continue to learn. But when I think, why are people so quick to give me advice when I post a losing trade or break even trade? They're not so quick to say something about my winning trades and then call me out on them. And I thought, hold on. The majority of people are not interested in really learning how to trade, learning the process, learning how to tweak certain things here and there, understanding the principles and the guidelines. People are just so focused on winning, making money. And I'm just like, no, come on, man. Because with that mindset, it doesn't get you far. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It really doesn't get you far. And I'm just like, if they were really focusing on the process, then they would relate to me and realize me not closing that trade early meant I was following my plan, and me setting my trade at break even was me using my risk management plan. But nobody sees that. And if it hit take profit, somebody would have said something. And if I had taken profit, somebody would have said I won't follow my plan. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is the process that everybody needs to focus on. And clearly, you are there. You are there, man. And the reason why is because you're learning from your mistakes. And I love that about you, Charlie. I've always loved, you know, hearing from you, seeing your trades, hearing your stories. I love your accent, man. I love your vibe. And yeah, man, you're a great guy. So this month, you're feeling ready to take the challenge. Ready. Yeah, but because you got that sun over there, that's why you got the beautiful sun, man. That makes you happy any day. That makes you want to do backflips any day, any minute of the day.
Yeah.
Is there lockdown over there?
There is no. We currently just entered a phase of, well, not really lockdown, but curfew. Mm-hmm. So we have because we've had a cluster of spreads recently. So we're in curfew mode, not full lockdown.
Okay.
So next, I think 2 weeks.
Oh,
so that 2 weeks is just more time for me to learn more and execute more. Not execute more, because I don't mean I want to overtrade, but I think you get what I mean.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean. I remember yesterday. Ali, listen, we always say this, man. Back test, you know, take more trades, learn more, but also believe in yourself as well, man. You know the technical aspect of trading now. It is pretty simple, right? There's not really much to it. You know your patterns, you know your process. Just believe in yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. If you're not meant to do the challenge this month, feel it within and make a real informed decision. If it's meant to be, then go for it. If you're doubting yourself or you're not feeling 100% confident, I believe you must feel 100% confident. Don't go for it. Just hold back, hold tight, because you don't want to take it feeling a slight bit of doubt and then you lose your first trade, things spiral out of control and you'd be like, I just wish I started next month. You understand? So
Yeah.
make sure you're looking after your health. Make sure you're looking after your mental and your physical. And then when you're ready, Charlie, man, you know it, bro. Your mind will just be like, yeah, I'm ready for this. Let's do this. But also accept and understand and prepare yourself for being ready for it. 100% does not mean you're going to pass it. I'm not trying to throw shade your way because I wish you the best of luck. And I don't believe luck is involved. I believe if you're going to do it, Charlie, you're going to do it. Trust me. But utilize your full allotted time. There's no rush here, yeah? Just remain patient. Always remember that if you don't pass, but you finish in profit, you always get another opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah? And to be honest with you, what risk are you using? Half?
Using half, no. In the past,
Yeah.
I was using way more than half, but I'm settled on half.
Charlie, the only way you can fail in terms of really fail, forget about passing and getting to 10K, fail is if you lose 20 trades in a row.
Yeah.
So you
and that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
But always remember, anytime you get to your lowest point or you're feeling down or whatever else, always remember you've got 80 more trades to go, 17 more trades to go, 19 more trades to go. When you get into profit and you feel like you're not making profits fast enough, always remember you're going to get another repeat if you stay in profit. Do you understand? And sometimes you need to dip your toe in the water, test it out first, get out, then again, just condition yourself to what you need to condition yourself to, and then go back in. You understand?
Yeah.
So the options are there for you, bro.
As I said, I needed to fail those challenges before, because on some of those days in those challenges that I failed, I was up on the day and I just wasn't satisfied with how much I was up by. And I was risking 1%. So I'm talking sometimes in a day being up 2%, 3%. And I'm like, I gotta get this to 5. If I just get this to 5, then that's my last trade. And it never gets to 5. It gets to like minus 2%.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, she's on brothers. And when I failed, it wasn't even because I went down 10%. My daily loss was just met, and I went lower than my daily loss. And that's just because I know I have a rule. 3 losses done. But then after the 3rd loss, I see an opportunity like, oh my gosh, how could I not take this? If I take this and I win this, I back to break even. And I going for it, loss. It's like, she's on brothers. And if I just stuck to the fact that this is a losing day, shut down your computer,
Yes, man.
go back to sleep,
Yes.
then I would have probably still been in all those challenges.
Yes, man. That is it, Charlie. And I was talking to somebody today and I was saying, look, if you know that losing one trade is a reason that everything else spirals out of control, shut it down. Just shut it down, man. Yeah. And like you just said, if you just done what you know you should have done back then, you'd probably still be in those challenges. You understand?
Yeah.
So if you can identify your weaknesses and isolate them and avoid doing them, guess what? There's only good things that could come of it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But you've come well on your way, man, on your journey, bro. You're there. You're just knocking on that 100K and you're like, I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
so Charlie, man. So Charlie, yeah, man, that's good. If you know that's your weakness, that's all you have to do. And you know how that it is that simple, right? It's that simple. Once you know that you're at that point where you're just like, you doubt taking the next trade, or you doubt taking your next move, and you have the option to not take it or avoid it or walk away from it, the best thing to do, regardless whether you could get back to break even or you could make more money, is literally just to walk away. And there's so much joy that you can gain from that and experience. You sharpen your skills, you really solidify your discipline and your patience. And then when you wake up the next morning, you feel like the man, because you know you was disciplined, you walked away, and you can come back fresh again. But once you start chasing those trades, even if you make more money or you get back to break even and you go to bed, you wake up the next morning and you've done something you know you shouldn't be doing, guess what? You're not going to feel like you're ready to attack the markets. You're always going to have doubt.
Yeah, the thing is too, there's some trades that you need to lose. Like, I know I've heard you mention this already too. There's some trades you need to lose, because if you want it, you're going to keep doing that.
Mhm.
So like even if I got back to break even on those days, and some days I did get back to break even. So that's what encourages me now
To do it
to
again.
continue trying that.
Yes.
And in the long run, it doesn't work out.
No.
So there's some trades it's like you need to lose. Even like today or yesterday during my forward testing, I usually sometimes take a trade and I re-enter if it's still around the same level. And I've come to the point where it's like, okay, I'm not re-entering. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to place my stop loss in a safer position. And if that is taken out, then that's it for that. Wait for something completely different.
Yeah, but you would never know how to do that. You never know how to approach the markets like that unless you've gone through it already. You understand?
Yeah,
That
unless you actually feel.
yeah, or feel it for real. Well, Charlie, man, look, we want to wish you the best, and hopefully we can have you back on here again to hear some good news in the future. No pressure, but yeah, great podcast, bro. And
Yeah.
man, I won't forget the smile. Thank you for your time and thank you for everything.
All right.
All right, man. Catch you soon.